Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you about a company that has been a staple in the Midwest for nearly 2 decades, Raber Portable Storage. If you're in need of quality storage solutions, look no further. Whether it's a barn, shed, or garage, Raber has the largest selection of handcrafted storage structures in all of Indiana. Each building is made with care by experienced craftsmen, ensuring you get a product that not only looks great, but is built to last. And guess what? They stand by their workmanship with a fantastic 5-year warranty. What sets Raber apart? It's their commitment to customer satisfaction. From the moment you step into one of their many locations, their friendly team is ready to help solve your storage issues. Plus, they deliver up to 250 miles from their main office in Montgomery, Indiana. So if you live in Ohio, Kentucky, or Illinois, you need to give them a call. Now, let me tell you about the heart behind Raber Storage. It all started back in 2000 when they began building sheds full time. The founder grew up helping his father construct barns with just gas-powered skill saw and a lot of determination. Today, Raber has grown into a full-fledged operation with dedicated staff, but that personal touch still remains. They treat every customer like family. So if you're ready to find perfect storage solution, visit Raber Portable Storage. They have Indiana locations in Bloomington, Seymour, Vincent, Spencer, Corydon, West Lafayette, Sellersburg, and Kokomo, and even Tilton, Illinois. So you'll never have to go too far for quality storage. And hey, we got a deal for you today. If you mention you heard it from the podcast, Rabers will give you $150 off your barn purchase. That's right. You save $150 off your purchase by just mentioning you heard it here on the podcast. So check out their website at raberportablestorage.com. That's raberportablestorage.com to learn more and find your nearest location. Trust me, when you choose Raber, you're not just buying a shed, you're investing in quality craftsmanship and service you can rely on. This show is brought to you by Zach's Creamery in Montgomery or Jasper, Indiana. Zach's Creamery was founded with creating a pleasant and memorable experience in mind. They strive to serve the most exceptional homemade ice creams and signature coffees in an exuberant atmosphere. Zach's has something for everyone, as he features several items for those with special dietary needs such as vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, and no sugar-added, keto, diabetic friendly. Visit them today in Montgomery or Jasper, Indiana. You can dine in or drive through, but whichever way you choose, do not forget you can order online and have it waiting for you when you get there. Order online at zaxcreamery.com. That's Zach's Creamery, Z-A-X Creamery.com, and stop in at Montgomery or Jasper, Indiana. Is how you spend, save, and invest your hard-earned cash glorifying the Lord? Well, at Dominion Wealth Strategists, they believe that your finances should reflect your faith. As a distinctly reformed full-service wealth management firm, they are here to help you steward God's gifts wisely. From comprehensive financial planning to wealth-building strategies rooted in biblical principles, they offer their core services with no financial barrier to entry. Whether you're planning for retirement, building generational wealth, or just getting started, Dominion Wealth Strategists are here to guide you every step of the way. From baptism to burial, Dominion has you covered. Visit them at reformed.money. That's reformed.money, and take the first step toward financial stewardship that honors Christ. That's reformed.money. Please visit them today. Hello and welcome to the TC Cook Show, brought to you by PH Media. We're here at the Fight, Laugh, Feast conference. I just met an incredible gentleman earlier. We had lunch together, and by the name of David White. He's a pastor in California, but he's also a business coach and coaches high-performing CEOs, high-performing business executives all across the country, and does an incredible job bringing his pastoral wisdom and listening skills to that. So I wanted to have him on. David, thanks for jumping on.
Absolutely. absolutely. You're the man. It's fun to be together.
Oh yeah, he's also super encouraging. Yeah, he's super encouraging, which is great. David, tell a little bit about what you do. Tell a little bit about being a pastor for a lot of years, and have been really pouring into the church. But then how that kind of even transitioned into being a coach for businesses, but also teaming up with White Rose and the kind of being a chaplain and just taking care of spiritual needs there with Seth Gruber and his team. And but talk a little bit about that journey for you.
Yeah, well, one, being a father of 5, you're leading.
Yeah.
Being a pastor for 3+ decades, you're working with people. The White Rose, being with the pro-life, organization.
Right.
Again, you're dealing with people.
Yeah.
And as you know, sometimes a referee college basketball.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Doesn't matter if you're on the court. You're still dealing with people.
Right.
And you're dealing with people who, life is stressful.
Right.
We use basketball as an example.
Yes,
you're on the court and there's a lot happening. It can be stressful and anxiety producing. So through all that, those are all platforms. They're just platforms. We do the same thing. The bottom line is love people, equip people, encourage people to do well. And business people need that. They need people they can trust, people they can have a confidence with, and people they can ideate with so that they can advance what they want to do.
Yeah.
And super cool as a believer to love these guys, champion them, and hopefully they succeed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So being able to work with lots of high achievers, lots of people throughout your life, right? What are some of the common denominators that you've seen high achievers, like the traits that they have?
Well, a lot of the guys I've had the privilege to work with, they're incredible. They're amazing. They're super gregarious,
right?
Winsome souls. They often are the most interesting guy or gal in the room when they're there. But there's a loneliness that goes with that. There's an existential loneliness when you're a giver, whether again, you're shepherding people, leading people, championing people. These are the givers.
Right.
So, being a coach behind the scenes is just making sure they're resourced too. These guys give and give and give and give.
Right.
But a lot of times because they're super handsome, super smart, super entrepreneurial, super successful, people don't think, well, they might have a hard day too. They might have personal needs too.
They're just people.
Yeah. So it's super fun just to be behind the scenes and love them, serve them, encourage them. But just a reminder, we're all mortal. We all have a sense of gratitude. We all have basic needs.
Yeah.
Got to get those met.
Yeah. Some of the themes that I've been gathering over the years and over the past few months of doing this, there's a common thread of excellence.
Yeah.
Right. And doing things with excellence.
Yep.
Speak a little bit to that and how you've seen that work out in those high achievers, their life.
Well, the high achievers that I really value, one, take care of business at home. So that has everything to do with super basic stuff. Do you have a quiet time with God?
Yeah.
Do you exercise?
Right.
Do you get a little sunshine?
Yeah.
Are you hydrated? Are you eating good food?
Wait, I didn't have to buy a book to figure this out?
Yeah, it's so basic. It's like you don't eat too much sugar.
Right.
Watch the Doritos and the donuts, eat healthy.
Right.
And some of I feel like I'm always telling them, go to sleep. You need 8 hours. Because
don't say that. Don't say that.
Excellence in overdrive can be like a quest to be like God.
Oh,
a quest to be perfect, a quest to I don't even need sleep. I'm amazing. It's like, dude.
And then it catches up, right?
Yeah. It's like, if you only have 10 more years, that's fine, but I'm going to bury you because you're going to die prematurely. But if you're playing the long game, then you have to do some of these basics. So I love the guys. They already have the fire. They already have the drive. I'm just worried they're going to get an overdrive.
Now, Trump is 70 something years old and he gets 4 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
And he's still
picking. Don't look at people like Trump. There are some weirdos on the planet.
Dana White claims the same. 4.5 hours.
No.
So 5 hours.
Not helpful for us, right? There's always a few exceptions, but that's not normative. The normal person needs 7 to 9 hours.
Yeah.
So if you're just a uniquely, obtuse person, okay, there's exceptions, but that's not most of us.
There's not too many people too that can eat McDonald's daily and still be alive at 79, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just saying,
like that can't be the rule, people.
Right,
yeah, the rule is, I've buried already 4 of my fraternity brothers from UCLA.
Wow.
And that's not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the reason is they lived too close to the edge, got too crazy, thought they could drive faster than they should, took more drugs than they should, stayed up later than they should. And then you get a little illness or a little this, and their systems are so compromised, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you only want to go to 54, go for it.
Right.
But if you want to be around at 64, 74, 84, 94,
right,
come on.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you think with the excellence part of it, because what you're saying is excellence in work, yes, but also excellence in taking care of yourself, right? Excellence at home with your family, right? Excellence isn't something that you turn on and off just because you walked through the office door, right? Or walked out of it, right? It's all a part of your life, right? But also there's a deep connection with self-control and discipline.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's a humility in it.
Yeah.
Excellence, like the Elon Musks.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to be him.
Yeah.
What do you do for Christmas? I mean, he's got so many ruined relationships and children. It's like, what a nightmare. The holidays are for you to be around people who love you. Right. But no one sees that. Right. Everyone wants to see you on stage and the book you've written and, the company that you rule and govern. Right. But the real success stories are behind the scenes when I mean, that's one thing about Trump, who's a very public figure. Right. His kids seem to like him. Yeah, that's true. And he's got grown kids that are actually doing well. Right. That's not the norm with a lot of leaders. But still had broken relationships, right? Still had that. Yeah, he still has fallenness. Right. Right. So some of the great leaders are going to be credited in heaven on the other side. Right. Because they didn't compromise to just build their company. They also built a tribe and a family, and their kids still love them. Yeah. When they're older. Yeah. Oh, that's rich, dude. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So excellence, discipline in all areas of your life. There's a saying, right? How you do one thing is how you do everything. And it's true to an extent, right? Because you see some people who seemingly do business very excellent. Yeah. But not relationships, not at home. Right. Not at Christmas time. Right. Yeah. I mean, there's the Marilyn Monroes, they're the Elvis Presleys, but they're all tragic stories. Yeah. Everyone knows them. They're so famous, so amazing. Right. Yeah. But behind the scenes, they're a hollow oak. They're miserable. Yeah. And the scriptures warn against that, right? God looks at the inside. Man looks on the outward appearance. Right. God looks at the heart. So it's really possible to have all those externals, cool car, cool clothes, company. But over time, they're exposed because it's like you didn't do what we see, like with Charlie Kirk. Right. Wow, he has a wife who loves him. Yeah. He's got kids that adored him. Right. Wow, and somehow he still was advancing the cause. Still was able to overachieve, if you will, right? In the business area of life. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is sometimes, and I know it's because of those tragic stories that we hear, that some people think you do have to forego family to actually make millions of dollars or have a successful business. And but I actually have come in contact with quite a few business owners who are very wealthy in their business, that actually have incredible families as well, right? And so, yes, the tragedy always sells, right? And it always hits us, and we always see it, right? That's what makes the news the most, right? And but there are so many, and there was even a theme of if you're wealthy, well, then you're just you got it by being corrupt, right? You know what I mean? There was always that weirdness of that. And but then I mean, I've met so many business owners that they are so giving, they're so caring, and they care for their employees, and they care for, and they're trustworthy, and they're honest, and what they tell you they're going to do, right? And so this fake facade of you have to give this to get this is just not necessarily true. Yeah, and there's some good models out there. In-N-Out Burger, Hobby Lobby. Yeah, these are companies Chick-fil-A, that Chick-fil-A, like we're closed on Sundays. Yeah, like we just have certain values. And we all crave a chicken sandwich the most. Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, and we're just going to have to trust that God could provide for us on the other 6 days. Right, and they're doing great, incredible. And so we need men and women who are like that. I remember when I started refereeing college basketball, the question was, oh, wow, I'm doing good enough. Should I go MBA or should I go NC2A?
Sure.
And my MBA friends were like, Dave, do you want a family? Do you want to stay married? Do you want to go home and be at church? Don't go MBA.
Yeah.
It's a different lifestyle. It's not a better league. It's a different league. NC2A college basketball, you actually go to the game and you go home. You can actually like have a family, go to church on Sunday. And that was a decision I made when I was 18.
Oh, wow.
So there's something about looking at the trajectory of the lives and the entrepreneur and the business. Some businesses, like being a college coach today, like I don't know how they even have a life. So you have to think, I may want something, but what would the cost be?
Right.
And if you're looking for family and God and those values, you're gonna have to be shrewd.
Yeah.
Because the MBAs, a bunch of divorced guys.
Yeah.
The NC2A is a bunch of guys that have families.
Right.
So you want to think through some of that.
And trust in God's promises, right? And trust that if you do what He says, that He will bless that. Yeah. Right. And that's the thing that I think we miss the most, right? Well, I have to segregate my business and church. Yeah. Right. Because to get ahead in business, I've got to act this way or I got to do this. And it's like, well, actually, if you integrate it and not segregate it, like a Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby closed on Sundays, all that stuff, God actually He'll honor, because you honor Him, He honor you. Right?
I was with David and Jason Benham last week, the Benham brothers, and they were talking about, 11 years ago, they had this opportunity with a real estate business to do this big HDD TV show.
Right.
But once they told them, like, you're going to have to compromise your morals, you can't talk about your faith, they took a stand and they got canceled.
Yeah.
But God, even though their show got canceled, God catapulted their testimony.
Yeah, you're right.
So there is a sense of you have to decide in business, like, do I like cut corners and try to like
short-term
go for it, or do I like do what God's called me to and trust that if He wants to advance me, He can do it?
Yeah.
He's advanced them, but not on the platform they originally thought.
Right. Yeah, that's a great story. Yeah, that's awesome. And so something was brought out yesterday by a guy named June. He's an international business guy, right, in the Business Maker Conference, that he said across the world, Christians actually hold the most wealth.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, wait a second, wait a second. And then some of me is like, well, what are we doing with it? Right? Like, what are we doing with that? And, but it is interesting because, and people talk about this with Jewish people a lot, in their business practices and all that from the Old Testament and all that stuff, which is still adamant to this day because it's all of Scripture. Right. And how they can prosper and how they do that. But it's like, what's crazy? That shouldn't shock us. Because what's surprising is you do things God's way, He does bless that, right? And He does honor that, even with death, right? Yeah. And when we think of Charlie Kirk and the murder of Charlie Kirk, and we see the immense growth through TPUSA that has happened, right? And just upon that, and we see a shift in culture that has happened just through a man's life. And it's because God is honoring him even in his death, right? Because Charlie glorified Him and honored God, right?
Yeah, you don't have to be like in a prosperity gospel position. It's not like we're not entitled. If you do what God says, He will bless you here. Right. No, but if you do what He says, He will bless you 100-fold.
Right.
So for those who are feeling like, wow, I've had to sacrifice, or I'm tithing and I'm, it's costing me a little bit.
Why am I not a millionaire yet?
You're not going to get cheated.
Right.
So if you don't get it now, you're going to get it later.
Right.
But we do see stories where God does deliver now 2 and 3 and 4-fold.
Right.
So like just stay the course.
I've even seen it where the parents have built something, right? But it didn't really take off yet. And then their kids have taken over that reign and all of a sudden it exploded, right? But it might have never gotten started had the parents not taken the initiative to start that, right?
Yeah.
And so, maybe it didn't bless them then, but the legacy and the stuff that they're leaving and the inheritance, right, is blessing their children, right?
And as Scripture says, you want to be rich towards God.
Yeah.
There's a richness that comes with love, relationship, belonging, care, forgiveness. Right. So the finances are cool, but as Scripture says, as Jesus warned, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? You want to get your soul right. Seek first the kingdom. Those other things will be added.
Right.
And the guys that are doing that, we are saying, wow, God's a man of his word.
Yeah, because we also don't want people to take us. So I'm really appreciating the fact that you're taking it this way. The fact that, hey, you're a Christian, you believe in God, you jump out in faith and you start a business, and automatically you're going to be a millionaire, right? Yeah. Like, no, that's not what we're saying, right? Because ultimately, what are we trying to do? We're trying to glorify God for the good of people, right? Yeah. We're glorifying him and for our good and for others, right? That's what we're doing. And and that's the blessing that we have. And yes, does God bless the story of the talents, right? He didn't give them all the same.
Yeah, 5, right? 2, and 1.
But they were all required to do the same with their talent,
yeah,
right?
Faithful with what you're given.
Bingo.
Yeah, you got to deal with the cards that you were dealt,
Sure.
But Paul tells Timothy, that young pastor, he says, beware the love of money,
right?
The love of success, right? The love and the
lust after it, right?
Yeah, the lust after it, the inappropriate longing for it can be a root of all kinds of evil.
That's right.
You want a longing for God, which is God, if I can build this business, build this family, and you can use it for your glory, that's what I'm here for.
That's right. God gives and takes away, right?
Yeah, amen.
And so it is whatever he chooses to do with that, that's up to him, right?
Yeah.
Our job is obedience, right?
Amen.
And obedience to all that he has commanded us, right? And that's what we do. So yeah, I don't want to make people think that, oh yeah, you're a Christian, you're just going to be uber wealthy, right? And but I do want to say you will be enriched. That doesn't necessarily mean money, but you will be enriched, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it leaves that inheritance for your children, right? And so, how many business owners and CEOs and execs that you deal with are thinking far ahead in the future? And where I'm kind of getting at that is I'm kind of weird, right? So I start thinking of my children's children, right? So my great grandchildren. And so the things that I'm trying to do, the things that I'm building, I'm always thinking that far ahead, like of how that's going to affect them, including how I act, how I say, all that stuff, right? I'm blessed with the fact of, if my kid turns 16, I've got younger children, but when they turn 16 and they need a job, I guarantee you I could pick up the phone and within 5 minutes I can get them a job, right? And I think that's a blessing to them, right?
Yeah.
And so, in a testament to what the Lord has done in my life, right? And so, how many of the business owners that you deal with are thinking like that?
Well, the ones that are not in survival. Right.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The one who are out in the middle of the Atlantic just treading water. They've grabbed a piece of driftwood and they're actually like safe now. I do think they want something that lasts, that something's transcendent, something bigger than themselves. And particularly all the guys that are married and have kids, it gives them a reason. Like, I'm not just going to work to buy stuff. I'm actually here to provide and protect my tribe. And that tribe's growing, and our kids will grow, and then they'll get married, and then they'll have kids, and they do start to get more futuristic, which I think is helpful. It gets them out of the tyranny of the present, more in terms of, let's do things for the glory of God, and let's plan for a legacy.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's what kind of keeps me focused, not on the here and now, but in the future. And again, yes, we've got the Lord gives us our what we need for today, right? I get that. And many are the plans of a man, but it's the Lord that directs his path. But that doesn't mean you don't plan, right? That doesn't mean that. And so that's kind of where it gets you out of bed, and it actually forces you to do something not for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're not focused on yourself now. You're focusing on others, including
it's a rare gem, man.
Oh, I mean, come on.
I love that. I mean, it's just so selfless and manful.
Yeah.
And again, rising above the tyranny of self and now to something that's greater. And I love that.
When it gets you out of the immediate gain, right? We're such a fast food culture, if you will, right? And it puts it into the long game, right? Playing the long game. I love that. Yeah. Eschatology helped me with that a little bit.
You're a treasure, dude. You're a rare treasure. I love that.
Yeah. So tell people where they can find you, and maybe there's a high achieving business owner that's saying, hey, because I'm sure you know other coaches and stuff too, if you don't have the time, but hey, I'm struggling. I need some help. Yeah. Where can they find you at?
Yeah. Well, they can go to Dave at drdavewhite.com. They can email me at Dave@drdavewhite. And I'm on social platforms, but if guys are out there and they want to go a little faster, a little further, and a little more connected, get a coach, find a mentor or a good grandpa or someone, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of coaches, there's a lot of guys that have good character.
Yeah.
They're competent.
Yeah.
But try to find someone who has that chemistry or that camaraderie, someone that you really dig and love, because then it's just a super cool adventure.
Yeah.
And any investment you make in a coach is going to return, multiple, because you're going to have that network, that support, that encouragement, the sanity to talk through stuff, the privacy you need to like process so you don't like purge on everyone.
Yeah.
And then, go serve. And that's the goal, is to give our lives away, but to steward our lives privately so we get what we need so we can go give, and as a referee, we're always talking on the court, make the call.
Yeah.
So if there's guys out there, it's like, you don't have to have stripes and a whistle, dude.
Yeah.
Get on the court of life, get out of the stands and make the call, make decisions. What do I need to do?
Yeah.
Execute, adjudicate, blow the whistle, and go for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So last question that I ask everybody, 21-year-olds sitting in the chair, they're talking to you and they're wanting to be an entrepreneur. They're wanting to jump into the business space. They're wanting to get their business career taken off. What's a piece of advice that you would give that 21-year-old wanting to really kick it off and start off?
Yeah. Stay humble. Don't act like you know it all. Get as many people around you. Listen to what they say.
Right?
Ask everyone you can, what can I learn? Because you got a decade.
Yeah.
Your 20s are the adventurous, like try it.
Yeah.
So try it and don't fear failing.
Yeah.
That's the only way
you will fail.
Oh yeah.
But learn from it.
But fail forward, as we say in the coaching world, which is like try a lot of stuff, learn what you need to learn, then find someone, settle down, start a family, and then do your next business after you've failed on your lemonade stand.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. I love that. I love to tell young people, 18, even 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, hey, you have hardly any responsibility right now. Now's the time to try it.
Yeah.
Because once you start getting those responsibilities, it's a little bit harder, right, to jump in, to go for it, because I've got people depending on me here, right? Sometimes it can be an incredible driver, right, to get out there and do it. But right now, 20s, that's your education. That's your time to learn. So get out there, learn it. And I love the fact that you said multitude of counselors. Proverbs obviously says that, and to have that around you. Seek out the gray hairs, right?
Yeah.
Seek them out. Yeah, maybe they don't know how to do social media very well, right? But they have such good principles, because the best way to learn is from other people's experience.
Yeah, the successful CEOs I know, sometimes they're like, I don't know if I'm going to have a coach, and we'll start working together.
Right.
This is the first time I've ever done that. I'm like, dude, you already have a bunch of coaches in your life. They're like, what? I'm like, you've got a pool guy, you've got a doctor, you've got a dentist, you've got a tax guy, like you've got a gardener, like you have a lot of adults to help you. When your car fails, you don't fix it, you take it to a guy. So a coach or a mentor, that's nothing new, dude. It's just someone who helps your soul. So just get all the resources you need around you to do life well.
Start learning.
You're not responsible to do everything, but you're responsible to make sure it gets done. So even if the pipe breaks at home, you don't have to be the plumber, but you better call one. You better call one.
Right. Yeah. Well, Dr. White, thank you that was just incredible. And so guys, go check out his website. Go find him. David at Dr. White.
Dr. Dave White.
Dr. Dave White. There you go.
Yeah.
Go check it out and go see him. And if you have a question and you're really just seeking, again, what he's going to tell you is go find somebody to mentor you. I have yet to find someone who, if I was genuinely humble, hungry, and wanted to seek their knowledge, right? That they weren't willing to impart something. Right.
Well, you're doing it. You're multiplying your life. You're using this podcast to share the gems.
Yeah.
And amen. Your listeners are blessed.
That's right. Well, hey guys, if you like this podcast, if you like this episode, please like, share, comment, get it out there. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll talk to you again soon.